Hey guys, it's Phyrra, and it's time for another Phyrra Says. I've got Phaedra here. She's hanging out while I shoot this video. I'm playing with the lights again because I have a friend who's TV producer who was saying that my lights were way too dark since the wall behind me is white and not gray. He's like, all of your videos look like the room, the walls are gray. So I've changed my lighting again. I'm trying to get used to it right now. I feel like it's super bright. And, I had my eye surgery a couple months ago. My eyes are still healing. My eyes are still sensitive to light. All of this light feels like, oh my God, way too bright, and I just kind of want to hide under the desk. I had a little bit of a rant I wanted to share. So, not that long ago, I guess a couple months ago, I bought a new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. I paid probably, I don't know, $600 or $800 for this phone. And I'm a little irked because, I bought the phone outright, but there are so many useless apps that T-Mobile makes you keep on the phone. It's ridiculous. And I don't want to have to go through the process of rooting my phone to get rid of all the crap that I don't use, because if I didn't have those apps on there, it wouldn't take up as much battery. So it's really irritating to me that for me to get rid of things that I don't use on my phone, I would have to root my phone, which is a pain in the butt. I am still going to the gym. I am doing intervals on the rowing machine. And I'm lifting weights. That's what I do most of the time. I very rarely will use the arc machine at this point because I feel like I get a better workout from doing the rowing machine. On that note though, Ray wanted to get a Fitbit Aria scale, which is a scale that works with our Fitbits. So I said, sure, why not? And we bought one, bought the black one. And I was very irritated because according to that scale, I am 40% body fat, which is ridiculous because when the gym makes me use like the little handheld thing, it's like 30%. So I'm pretty much on strike with the scale because every time I step on the scale, it just upsets me and it's just not worth the headache mentally to be dealing with it. I've also been a little bit irritated by the Fitbit's web interface. Initially, at first glance, it was much easier to understand and to use, but then the way it organizes some of the data, I find very irritating. I don't want to know how many steps I've taken a week. I want to know how many steps I've taken per day, and I don't know, there are like a bunch of little things that are nitpicky things that I would tweak about their web interface if I had the ability to change it, but I don't, so instead I just get to be annoyed by them. I'm trying to decide what I'm getting next with my hair. I'm still in love with the purple and teal combo, the split, but I've seen some really awesome hair on Instagram. I saw this gorgeous like mermaid melt, which was like teal blue to a green to lime, and I was like, oh, that's gorgeous. And then I saw like this purple melt that was like purple and pink to orange. And then I've seen some really cool purple melts that are just like purple, like the dark purple, like a blue tone purple, to like a magenta, to like a lighter purple at the tips. And I've seen all of these pretty color melts and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to do a color melt, but then I'll have to give up having two different colors. And so I'm just kind of like, oh, I guess I can't do that. But I keep looking and then I'm like, well, I really like what I have. Yes, so that's what goes through my head when I'm like looking at all the beautiful pictures on Instagram. I am still testing out the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette because I want to play with all the different colors before I do my official review. You've seen my swatch video, I'm sure, where I gave you my initial impressions. And if you check out my blog, I've done a couple looks with this palette. In fact, the makeup I'm wearing right now is using this palette and the electric palette. Jury's still out on how I feel about this in my final review, but I've had a lot of fun playing with it. I wanted to talk a little bit about Netflix because I love Netflix. This past weekend, Ray went to a bachelor party, and so Dave and I were here alone, and we decided, well, we're gonna binge watch Grace and Frankie, which is a Netflix original series, and it's a really cool series that features Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. If you haven't seen the show or you don't know what the premise is the two ladies, Grace and Frankie, are married to husbands for 40 years, and their husbands are secretly gay, and they've been having an affair for the past 20 years. So when they're around 70, they decide that they're going to come out as gay, and then they're going to divorce their wives so that the husbands can get married. And the show really shows the relationship between Grace and Frankie and how they like learn to live together and support each other as friends, while also showing like how what their husbands have done have impacted their lives and their children's lives and some of their friends' lives. So it made me cry a little bit because I'm sensitive like that, but I thought it was really well done, and it's really rare to see, I think at least, a TV show that features older actors like that. Dave and I also just started a new Netflix series called The Almighty Johnsons, and this is actually a New Zealand show, and I think it started in like 2011, so we're just on the first season of it. But I really like it for a couple different reasons. I feel like First and foremost, the way they seem to approach makeup is very different than what you see on like American TV. I feel like when you're looking at makeup on this show at least, it's very minimal like foundation. Like you can still see people's like acne scars or like a little bit of a breakout, but it's not like bad. It just looks like a real person as opposed to a flawless person. And they do a little bit of fun stuff with the eyeshadow. So like I've seen like smoky eyes in a couple of the girls. And so I don't know, I kind of like that aspect of it. The premise of this show is that the main characters, who are 4 brothers and their grandfather, are all descendants of Norse gods, and so they're trying to get their powers back to be stronger because they're like pretty much like diluted power-wise since there's so many generations removed. So it's kind of an interesting premise. It's kind of a comedy, and I don't know, I've been really enjoying it, but I like shows like that. I like, you know, stuff about like Norse gods and urban fantasy, etc. So I think it's a really cool series, and I will definitely be keeping my eye out for more cool New Zealand shows, especially if they show up on Netflix, because I love Netflix. I started reading a new book series last week on my Kindle, and it's called the Discord Jones series by Gayla Drummond. There's 5 books so far in the series, and I'm on book number 4. And if you like, you know, urban fantasy like I do, that has like werewolves and were-tigers and psychics and witches and vampires, etc., you'll probably love these books because I'm really loving them. I'm enjoying the writer style, and I don't know, they've just been a really fun read. So looking forward to getting caught up on those. So as you can probably tell from following my blog or my channel here, I'm a very visual person, and because of that, there are a couple things I wanted to tell you about. If you love brightly colored hair and makeup as much as I do, you should definitely check out my Pinterest boards, because I pin tons and tons and tons of really cool like color inspiration for hair and makeup inspiration. I pin probably like 98% other people's content, so it's a bunch of cool stuff that I find from around the web. It's stuff I find from Instagram, it's stuff I find on Facebook, it's stuff I find from Google searching, it's stuff I find from Tumblr. So there's lots and lots of pretty eye candy. So if you're looking for like makeup inspiration or hair inspiration, you should definitely check out my hair board and my makeup board, and I will put a link in the description box below. And I wanted to urge you to check out my Instagram, because on Instagram a lot of what you will see is upcoming like sneak peeks on new makeup releases. So like when I talk about stuff from Makeup Geek or Kat Von D or Phyrra, because I'll be looking and trying to find new things to share, because I share a lot of other people's content on my Instagram in addition to my own. And I saw that Phyrra was coming up with yet more new eyeshadows, and they're possibly going to do lipsticks and discontinue the lip lusters. So I was very excited by this, because I think anything Phyrra does is pretty much awesome. So the idea that they would be coming out with lipsticks, like the more traditional type of lipsticks, is really exciting to me. Plus new eyeshadows. In fact, if you look at the pictures I posted of the new eyeshadows, I mean, just gorgeous. I love the complex colors. If you haven't heard, Makeup Geek is coming out with a set of new mattes, and she's going to have new duochromes. So I'm really excited by that, because you know I like mattes for my crease and brow bone, and I love duochromes for my lids. So I'm excited that there's finally going to be some Makeup Geek duochromes, because I really don't have any duochromes right now. Plus, if you want to see more poodle action, I definitely have more Phyrra on Instagram. So other than that, I've been really super busy with my work. I haven't had as much time to blog or make videos as I would like. Anyway, what's new with you? Please be sure to let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, be sure you subscribe to my channel. I make new videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, and sometimes in between. Thanks so much for watching.